Zakwe, the CEO of MICT SETA, Mrs. Mpoma Chaga, Ms. Shandi Tema, Dr. Mark Mpasa, and Mr. Lorenzo Fup. Motlajo Muholwa as well will be here to assist us with all the questions. Thank you so much. We can start.
Hi, Prof. Prof, a quick one. So this survey that must go to the participants for my PhD. So what kind of survey forms they will use?
And we will take the question.
Apologies to the attendees about that. I think there's one Loazi PM. His hand is raised up. I've given you the mic to speak.
Thank you for the opportunity. This is Loazi Kotwana from Vegas Solution. Thanks to the Honorable Minister, Dr. Blade Nzimande, thanks to the Honorable Minister, Stella Ndabeni, and the rest of the delegates and honorable members. I'm calling from the township of Guatemala. I own a transport and logistic company and an ICT company. We are having challenges, especially in the areas of Ekurhuleni, especially the far end of east of Ekurhuleni. There's not transparent of information or special of such information this side. Entrepreneurs are neglected in the space of ICT. They are finding it difficult in terms of connectivity. There's no mobile connectivity. And the education and teaching this side is still of second generation. And yet there are players and stakeholders and entrepreneurs and companies within this sector and within the local economy, but they're not inclusive. Basically because of the order of the day of politics, and also not inclusive in the mainstream of business, which is the banking sector. You're not included in the mainstream of funding. So as an entrepreneur and a son of the soil, you find yourself not knowing what to do. Also, they spoke about manufacturing space. There's a lot of deliberated shops, there's a lot of deliberated firms. Even if you want access from the local town planners, there's no access of information. You make offers to purchase the land in order to start manufacturing. You get declined with no proper explanation. So these are the challenges that we find. And we are very excited for this opportunity. As a young player, I would like to participate because currently I'm participating with one of the #1 distribution company in the world. So we utilize also the global footprint, nationally, Africa and globally. So as a young person, I'm very excited about this opportunity, hoping that it doesn't end here as a lab service. We're going to get an opportunity to be invited to present our case study in order to solve these socio-economical problems. Thank you. Hello.
Yes, I'm not sure, Vinolia, whether you want a number of comments before we answer, or should we answer immediately after every speaker?
I think it's better to answer immediately after.
Yes. All right. I will take Loazi, and others can then add. Loazi, thank you very much for your comment, and I don't know how to place it, but what I would like to do, let me start with the ICT SMME Chamber. The founding body of SAMDDRA is the ICT SMME Chamber, and we are a group of ICT SMMEs that are organized and that deal with some of the challenges that you have just mentioned, because your challenges do not necessarily only speak to SAMDDRA. What I would like to do is to invite you. I've put the email address of the chamber in the chat box. I would like you to just send an email to that address. I also do see that email. I will then immediately make sure that you participate within the chamber structures. You will find like-minded people there who go through the same challenges, and together we deal with those challenges. I'd also like to invite Mdu to also respond to you in terms of the issues of training in your area, because I see some of them are talking to the issues of training. But as so far as the challenges that we need to assist you in terms of dealing with government agencies and so on and so forth, we won't be able to deal with them here. But I invite you to give us an email, and we will take it from there. If the MICT-SETA can also just say something. Over to you, Mdu.
Okay. Greetings, colleagues. Thanks very much for the question that's been raised. I think the whole issue of training, it's something that we are definitely working on. We're developing some new qualifications around e-waste, around cybersecurity when it comes to handling of the communication devices. It's something that we are also dealing with in terms of renewing our qualifications with QCCO on electronics. So I think it would be expected of the colleague to inquire with MICT-SETA if he's interested, whether it's him or a group of people, so that we can attend to them. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Do we have another question? And Mr. Lwazi, are you answered?
Yeah, thanks a lot. Just to add, currently also participating with one of the SETAs, which is TITA. We have a staff component of 50, and we are battling also in strengthening those relationships with them and also training our people. So in terms of training, the training space also around our local spaces, it's not available. And the departments, the relevant departments that are there, they send you pillar to post. So I'm answered partly in some of the issues. And also, if we can also get the people from the financial sector, in the financial market, also because we also need capital injection and working capital to start doing manufacturing, to start developing systems and strategy. So there's a lot that needs to come to fore. And also the funding houses, if they can also create relationship with entrepreneurs and SMMEs, because they have the knowledge and the know-how and expertise of the local economy, but we are not included, we are not inclusive. Just for an example, during COVID, our company was awarded an opportunity to do the cleaning and decombination of sanitizing the schools and the cleaning of schools. Around it was poorly managed. As a company, I've been in that space for the past close to 6-7 years, but we are not recognized as the leading amongst also the stakeholders from the Department of Education and also from the private sector. So if we can also have assistance of mentorship, have assistance of financial education, marketing strategies, operations, it will mean a lot, because we do have people who are willing to participate, but the problem is the space and the support. Some of them, they don't even want the money, but they just want the knowledge. So we're having engineers amongst our midst, we're having scientists amongst our midst, we're having electrical engineers amongst our midst. So these kids, they do want to work, but they don't have the environment, they don't have the platform and the support for them to assist us. So if you can able to emphasize on those points, thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lwazi. Is there anyone who would like to speak further?
I think just as a last parting shot to Lwazi, Nazi, we also accept the challenge that the Minister, Stella Ndabeni, put to us in asking where was the Department of Small Businesses and where was the Minister of DTI, which is Minister Patel. We do have a relationship with these departments, hence I'm saying once you get into the four within the chamber, you can then participate and together we can deal with these issues. So I think there's quite a lot that we can do. Do use that email address and let's take it from there, because the issues are wide range. They are not specific issues that can be handled in a session like this. But certainly we are a platform to deal with those issues as the ICT SMME chamber.
Can I come in?
Yes, sure.
Yes, Lwazi, maybe if you can leave your contact with our chairperson or Tira, I'll see how to assist around, the spaces and other resources regarding your business, because I have the relationship. I don't know which area are you based. Are you from Ekurhuleni or Sidibeng or Western area? Because I have a whole list of people that are based in different area where I can, find ways to connect you and look at how maybe you can get access to spaces to start operating within that area.
We're in the area of Ekurhuleni.
Ekurhuleni, thank you. No, I'll be able to connect you with my colleagues from that side, from Ekurhuleni. Okay, thank you.
Okay, do we have any other question? For those who can't ask questions now, you are more than welcome to send us emails and then we'll try and direct your questions to the relevant people and get as much information for you as possible. Thank you.
AB's hand has been up. AB, please go ahead.
Thank you, Loisa. Thank you, colleagues. Let me start first by welcoming this noble idea and this missing puzzle that has been there. And well, mine is both a question and a comment. Like I said in the comment, we currently, we'll start operating an incubation for technology in the Northwest Province. It's funded by both SAMDDRA and the Department of Economic Development in the Northwest. Our focus in that is to try and build companies that are going to produce electronic devices, especially computers. The only issue that I think the two things that we are looking to consolidate now is one is the training portion of it, because unfortunately we would require to train some of these SMMEs in technology. We, with the SAMDDRA budget or the budget that we've given from SAMDDRA and Economic Development, is mostly on business development, excluding technical training. So we have developed a proposal which we will share with the chamber and this industry body, and to see how, in terms of the technical training, how this industry body can assist, how MICT-SETA can also assist in doing that. Secondly, the persistent challenge with all SMMEs, I guess, is the issue of access to markets. And one of the things that we have said and we've done with the DTI and the Northwest Provincial Government is to say the Northwest Provincial Government must explore the PPFA section 8.4, where it allows government departments or at the departmental level, provincial or national, to designate products for local manufacturing, also imposing what should be the content or the local content of that product. And we have said to the provincial government to at least start with to designate for local assembly, and eventually I'm aware that the DTI is busy with that process of designating computers, digital devices for local manufacturing. And I would implore this team to actually get in touch with the DTI and to advocate that computers or digital devices must be designated for local manufacturing. That will assist in ensuring that, even large companies, your HPs and so on, if we could use that opportunity to start companies to manufacture, but in the meantime, if these companies want to supply government with computers, they would have to manufacture them locally, and that will obviously boost job creation and skills development in the country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Abi. Again, do you want to start with the part for that involves training?
Hello?
Okay. While we wait for Mdu, the second part, yes, it is our vision. We in the paper or in the provincial economic development framework for Gauteng, we did give input, which is similar to what you are talking about, AB. Obviously, these are baby steps, and that's exactly what SAMDDRA is formed for, is to ensure that as much of the value chain as possible is in the hands of South Africans. So your thinking is 100% aligned with our thinking, and I would be assuming that you would be joining the SAMDDRA so that you can participate in that process. One of the things we do both in the chamber, and that's what we will do in SAMDDRA, is that we lobby for certain positions, whether it's with Parliament, whether when there's a white paper that has been released, or whether there are comments that are required in government, and sometimes we even do make a proposal that are not solicited. So we are 100% aligned with yourself, and we have already started, as you will see when the local economic, I'm not sure of the name of the legislation itself in Gauteng, is being gazetted, that our input is hopefully reflected there. The input was made by the chamber, but obviously in this case it talks to SAMDDRA. Over to you, Mdu.
Yeah, okay. No, thanks very much for the question. So the issue of partnership with the OEMs, I think it becomes very, very, very critical. It's going to be very hard for a South African to be able to build tablets without going through the process of fixing the tablet and getting to understand the components of the tablet. So I think there's a maturity curve here that one needs to put into perspective and make sure that over a period of time, when whoever did we train, so if you're interested in training, depending where you are on the maturity curve, I think it's critical for us to understand your training needs, because some of the guys may have been working in the repairs industry for quite some time, and maybe they are ready to experiment and put together a gadget, of which the training related to that is very specific versus the training of someone who just wants to understand the various parts of the gadget before they could move on to the next parts. Because I think the main vision, colleagues, is that we are able to springboard all these efforts towards producing something of our own. You can't be repairing tablets for 40 years. That's a huge failure in one's life. You know, you can't be repairing a tablet for 40 years. There comes a time when you are able to make one yourself. So we would be very eager to listen and partner with the right OEMs to develop such labs. And the video we saw from Mobicel, I think, was a stunning video. So we need to make sure we can partner with various OEMs and build centers of excellence where different components of these things can be done. A case in point was a center in KwaMashu. So Samsung built a center in KwaMashu where they help kids understand the motherboard, you know, the green board that has got chips, how it's put together, you know, how the whole electronics is put together to put together a TV or something of that nature. And I think for me, efforts like those, they go a long way in building ourselves on that maturity curve. So we'll be very happy to engage. Thank you.
Vinolia, I
Thank
think
you
there are more
so
hands.
much.
Maybe just
Thank
a
you
quick
so much.
follow-up, if possible.
Yes, no problem.
Thank you. I just want to mention that alongside the incubation, I also run a company called the MI Industry. So what we have done, the idea of the incubation is to actually build companies that will play in the value chain of producing computers. We already have a relationship with an OEM in Taiwan, where they are supplying us currently with components. We've trained more than 100 young people in our region, in Bujanala region, on repairs or on repairs and assembly of these computers. Our products are already ICASA and SITA, State Information Technology Agency certified. So the idea is to actually have technical training on companies that are going to produce or in skills such as 3D printing and so on. So like I said, we've developed a proposal which we will submit to SAMDDRA, so that we can see how they can link up with the MICT, SITA and other institutions such as NEMISA to see how this training program can then be accelerated. Yeah, so I just wanted to mention that. But we also, one of the most important thing that I've forgot is that we are currently working with Intel South Africa. They are going to help us develop our own motherboard, well, obviously based on the Intel processor. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Can we have another question?
Bulelani, I've allowed you to talk.
Hello.
Yes, Bulelani, we can hear you.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, can you hear me correctly?
Very much so.
Yes, we
Okay.
can.
Yes, thank you, Vinone. My comment, in fact, is not a question. I reside in George in Western Cape. I run a company called Home Computers. We are venturing a space of training and user training. I'm also a product of NSFAS. I'm from the rural areas. I've made sure that I align myself in such platforms. So I would like to thank SAMDDRA for giving us this opportunity. It's my first time having a webinar with the minister and other dignitaries that have just spoken. My comment is that I think I'm also sleeping in one bed with Lwazi, that as entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs, we have the skills, we have the knowledge, but we lack the platform a platform where we can go and present our ideas, because I've been having many ideas that could have solved some technical problems that are arising in our country. But where do I go? So you sit in your house, one in your room, having all these ideas, but we don't know which channels to follow, or perhaps you do have channels that you must follow, but you find that those channels are only not becoming helpful. For example, the issue of finance, it is a very, very, very problematic issue where as entrepreneurs we struggle because we don't have money. So I think by joining this platform, all these questions that we have as young entrepreneurs, in fact, disadvantaged entrepreneurs, we will have solutions that will be given to us. So I'm not sure if it was a question or rather it was a word of thanks. So in that note, I would like to thank SAMDDRA for giving us this opportunity.
Thanks, Bulelani. And I think it is a very welcomed comment.
Yes.
As most SMMEs, as I see from the other speakers before you, face exactly the same challenges.
Yes.
And which is why it is important to organize ourselves.
Yes.
Because it's only when we are organized are we able to go to other stakeholders, whether it being government departments, whether
Yes.
it being private sector, and state our case.
Yes.
At some point, even if we have to go to court for that matter and fight for some of these opportunities, we will do so. Even if it means one day we have to being professionals, when we are organized, we are able to do these things and demand them, obviously.
Yes.
So mine is again the same. Join SAMDDRA, join the chamber, which are sister organizations, participate in the processes within these organizations. You will find some of the things you are raising, it's things that we are already addressing in some quarters in one way or another. So mine there is be part of these organizations, and you will find that you will deal with, instead of you sitting in your corner alone in George, you will have other 300 people who are facing the same issues. Some of them have answers. As a chamber as well, we do then engage the relevant bodies to ensure that we do get some alleviations of some of these issues.
Yes, okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Can we have another question, please?
Ready, you've been allowed to speak. Mr. P. Mr. P.
Hi, baby.
Oh, there it
Hello?
is. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you, Mr. P.
All right, perfect.
Yes,
Thank
we
you.
can.
Thanks for giving us, as the BITF, an opportunity to support such initiative. Such initiatives are great initiatives. Are initiatives that are long been awaiting for in the country, particularly for the township and village and rural areas, where this such initiative should find its expression from. So we are here to say we are supporting you. And I was hoping probably that by this time the ministers would have listened to us as we support their objective. However, we should also submit our view based on what they've said. And probably as the BITF, we second the Minister Stella Ndabeni on the statements he made. However, we would have suggested and hoped that he would also look at having a relief fund for the SMMEs in this sector. You know, we know that in the tourism sector, there's a relief fund, and we can't be bottling up with the SMME department, and while there is a budget within this department in terms of telecoms and ICT. And I hope that we could jointly, as the BITF and the ICT chamber, we could join forces or have a joint approach to ensuring that this sector also gets its own relief fund for small SMMEs. I mean, we know that if you look at the report that was handed down by MIC-SETA, where it indicated that the impact of this COVID, a lot of SMMEs, it will take them about 3 years to just come to, Vezikanda Pela. So we need to be able to ensure that there is at least a relief fund from the sector. That's the first one. Then about 3 things quickly. The second part is, I think for Minister Blade, we concur with Minister Blade in the issues that he has raised and also the issues of collaboration. But however, I think it is important to also acknowledge that the ICT sector, it is the job creator now, that is immediately, that can create jobs immediately. And therefore, there's a need for the minister to increase this budget for the MSS-SETA to be able to run in a full speed to create the 4IR qualification and also empower the SMMEs in that space to be able to be creative enough and be able to develop local softwares and local products and services that must find the expression of creating jobs in not more than 3 months from now. I mean, my last remarks, it goes to the DTI, and I think you and me, Luiso, we have met with the DTI. However, I think it's important that the DTI should also consider ensuring that software manufacturing. You know, when you say software manufacturing, meaning having our own operating systems and so on. Software manufacturing, it is seen also as a black industrialist, because it is important that will also see, we will then be able to see small SMEs being able to get those grants and business support from government to be able to develop local softwares that would also run on the platforms of your Mobicels and your Samsung and others. You know? However, I think the speakers would just add on that, but we're here to support and to say we are in the right step. Let us help this government to be an agile government. And this process, it's definitely helping us to create an agile government. I thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. P. On behalf of the chamber, definitely we see the SMME sector as one sector, and the more united it is, the better for all of us. It doesn't serve any of us to run around doing different things. So at any given time, as I had said had this discussion with Mark as well, the BITF Gauteng is welcome to contact both the chamber and or SAMDDRA on issues that we would like to run together. And thank you very much for your support as well of this event. And I hope in the future, members of BITF can also find themselves being members of SAMDDRA.
Okay, thank you so much. Can we take the next question, please?
That will be you, Ishmael.
Hello. Good afternoon. My name is of South Africa. The fronting, it's a problem in South Africa because see the millionaires, upcoming millionaires very soon from South Africa having to give jobs to the rest of the country. How is government going to assist in this regard? Thank you.
Thanks for the question. Anyone who can take that question?
Okay, if no one takes it, I will. Ishmael, we are not a government agency. We are an NGO, both the SAMDDRA and ICT SMME Chamber are NGOs and NPOs, so we're non-profit organizations. However, the same issue, Mr. P, who just spoke earlier, where he mentioned that he went with me to the DTI. One of the reasons we went there, it was 3 organizations who met with the DTI. We were addressing the issue of one of the issues in terms of fronting, in terms of PE. Yes, as an organization, these are issues that we deal with on a daily basis. One of the things, for instance, we've done, we have elected to join Dr. Andile Ngaba in his litigation against DD. It's a known thing, it's a public domain, on the basis of fronting. So those are issues that as an organization we do address, and we address them harshly. But we ourselves are not a government department. We nudge government in the correct direction, and also where we feel strongly about issues, we will take them to the necessary institutions and courts if necessary. Thanks. The next person is Ali Rodolo.
Mr. Chair, it's Ali Khodolo, sir.
Sorry, Mhlekazi.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Thanks for the opportunity. Mine is to note again the absence of DTI in this journey that SAMDDRA is starting, because the absence of DTI means that we are not necessarily being endorsed by DTI as an organization that needs their support as part of the Black Industrialist program, but also as, I mean, the COVID has already shown the level of, or the lack of technology advancement in our country, and the need to literally do more as a nation in terms of embracing technology and rolling it out to the rural areas as well as urban and semi-urban areas, because not only have we seen this as a problem in the rural areas, even what we know as the urban and semi-urban areas are hardly affected. But I want to commend the Chamber and SAMDDRA and all the partners for this step forward. Also want to note and say we have the capacity and ability to develop and produce our own devices. I've engaged a lot with CSIR or on the periphery with members of CSIR, and I've become aware of some of the wonderful things that CSIR is doing with graduates. If you look at the High Performance Center, these guys get, and they go all the way to international spaces, producing designs and solutions for high performance computers, which therefore means that we have the capability and the capacity to produce a basic computer that is required by an ordinary South African who wants to learn, who wants to engage with the fourth industrial revolution, who wants to be part of the fourth industrial revolution. But I suppose we are not, yes, I put the blame also to the likes of CSIR for not engaging and coming out with some of these programs that they are doing. Instead, we end up, I mean, I want to say we've already missed an opportunity where NSFAS went out on a tender for computer devices, and the likelihood is that all of the parties that have been awarded this tender will be buying these computers or getting them from the likes of the OEMs who are multinationals, as opposed to having at least allocate a portion of that 710,000 laptops or devices being produced locally. Whether we look at initially assembling some of these locally, and then and also encourage the manufacturing of a local computer. I also want to concur with Mr. P. We also need to take it further and begin to look at a locally developed operating system so that we become a nation that owns its own solutions in the technology space. We can't say we're owning the space if we are not even able to produce our own, we don't have our own operating system. And therefore, from a security perspective, we are always vulnerable to the multinationals that give us these technologies. So that's my comment, but that's also a challenge to put to SAMDDRA to say, these are things that we need to take forward and begin to look at how do we strengthen our position going forward. I thank you.
Program Director, can I intervene for something after Mr. Ali?
Yes, sir, you can.
All right, it's just to say that because the session was short, 1 hour, we couldn't fit 4 ministries. So it's not like the DTI didn't want or was not part of this. They were informed, but you could see only with 2 departments, it was so hard to have people around. Otherwise, we would have a whole day, morning and afternoon for this launch, and it wouldn't be feasible to keep ministers for more than 3-4 hours for our launch. So we went with the ministries that came on board as early as possible. Although we did inform them, they were part of the launch. I could see some of the officials were from the DTI, but the DTI could not, and the small business department could not just be associated as ministers at the ministerial level. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Mark. Is there anyone who's willing to speak, or
Can I say something?
can we go to the next question? Yes, sure. Thank you.
Hi.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes,
I think there's Nkululeko who can talk.
Okay.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'd like to first thank the opportunity to be part of this session with the likes of our ministers and relevant organizations that play a part in this program. Sorry if it sounds a bit noise. I'm running a 3D printer in my home office. So I just would like to add a comment of the overall idea of this initiative is, I mean, as an entrepreneur who's running a tech company that develops customized solutions from electronic devices, Internet of Things, software products, I would love to urge you to not strictly, I'm not saying it should only be the main focus. I know the cell phone and the laptops, computers are more of standard products in the market, but I would love to urge you to look beyond that, other than just for mobile devices and computers. You know, there's still more other solutions that can be developed from such initiative, which would be great and can play a role within the ecosystem. For example, we're not only talking about general cell phone devices, but there's also devices that are used in the industry to do like asset tracking, to track assets, logging in items into inventories. Such devices also play a role in the ecosystem because they're also part of the pretty much the same field as these devices that we'll be focusing on. So it was just a comment on that I would not only urge that you focus on that, but think beyond just cell phones and laptops, like the likes of the idea of developing our own OS systems, but even more bigger solutions out of that from a technology industry point of view. Another part would be to add a comment regarding Bulelan, I think, when he added a comment around the challenges he faces when he's working from home, in access to resources and funding and all that. One of the things I've picked up as an entrepreneur is that I've never received funding myself, I know that, but I've learned something why I haven't received funding. Is because sometimes as entrepreneurs, we are not ready from a business skills point of view to structuring your business in terms of having a clear vision, setting skills, your business management, your financial management skills, your bookkeeping is really important, because when you apply for funding, from what I've encountered so far, you need to produce that, and you need to prove that you've got the necessary skills to any extent that you need to produce an entrepreneurial certificate that you've went through a entrepreneurial program, of which I would urge you to also try that. Even if they may seem like freebies, they really play a role from an entrepreneur's point of view, because it also boosts your confidence to not only focus on the technical aspects of your business, but to also think beyond business management and where you would like to see your business from 5 years to 10 years to 15 years. So I'm just sharing something from someone who's in the journey of learning and going through the stairs, and then just sharing my experiences so far, even though I've never received funding, but I've picked up one of the major things that was a stumbling block. Thank you.
Thanks, Nkulego. One of the other things I just want to pick up from what you have said, the last one, I would put it down to what we call compliance, and and if you look at it in a bigger stage, it's called SMME governance. You would rightly put it, as I'm an SMME myself, and I have received a lot of funding, but I do because from whether you're talking CSD, whether you're talking COIDA, whether you're talking SARS, whether you're talking some form of an accounting system, it's very important as SMMEs to ensure that our governance is in place, because that does not only just give you funding, whatever you are applying for, whether you are applying for a partnership with OEM as a partner to whichever OEM in a partner program, your compliance or your governance is going to be very important in ensuring that you do get those opportunities. It's one of the things we do strive also in the chamber, and I'm very excited with the things that you are talking about. You've got a 3D printer in the background. We are talking to like-minded people that should be members of the chamber. This is just one of the initiatives of the chamber, Nkulego. As you rightly put it, we're not only focusing on mobile devices, we're focusing on all ICT technologies and matters. So for instance, you could join the chamber and start a new work stream about dealing with 3D printing, and we get other SMMEs to join you. We talk to funding institutions to look at what you can do around that. Again, I will stress it helps to be part of a group, because you sit there not as an individual, but as a group, and together you are able to look at what you can do with those initiatives. So I would encourage you, Nkulego, join the chamber. I lead the chamber from an operations perspective, and yes, I would like to do something around 3D printing for the chamber. Thank you.
Awesome, I would love that.
Thank you so much. AJ, can we give AJ a chance to speak? AJ, are you still with us?
Seems to be on mute. I think he just...
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. He just sent a message. Yes, he is. Thank you.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can, sir.
Okay, so I've been both encouraged and discouraged this afternoon. So lots of optimism, and also with hearing a lot of stories and disappointment and things like that. And I think I probably, where I sit, probably not the most optimal candidate, because I'm obviously colored male and sitting that square bracket of, you know, the least funded individual before the white man. But that being said, I think a lot of truths have been spoken, and a lot of questions have been raised, and a lot of things have been said. So let me start with one point. First point is, I do believe we need to develop our own operating system and things like that. And I think we definitely need software development skills in that space. That's the one thing I would say. And I mean, I'm working with an international organization that developed their own operating system that is second to none. And one of the things that I'd like to see is us South Africans getting into that software development space. And we've got some unique individuals, local individuals of color, that have absolutely got the ability and the capability to be able to do this. But they need to be exposed to organizations that I deal with. So that's the one thing. And bringing that kind of operating systems to South Africa would kind of help us to cement and give them the exposure to that kind of operating. So that's one. Two, I've been exposed to local hardware manufacturers that manufacture their own hardware. And that's encouraging to know. So for me, it's about, you know, getting software and hardware guys together. And then I've been exposed to local software manufacturers that develop their own extremely, insanely lightweight operating systems that are not operating systems, but applications that will make any organization think, wow, why didn't we do this before? But I think I've also been discouraged by the fact that, you know, and like Uwazi said earlier on, you know, not getting the exposure or not getting the invite or being overlooked on every occasion. And I think, you know, if an organization like SAMDDRA can be a collective body to drive these kind of discussions, I think it would be insanely invaluable to the SMMEs, even the ICT chamber and MICT, and it would be insanely invaluable to all entrepreneurs that are wanting to establish a business. I started doing some consulting work from 2017, and I just realized that for me, it's not about me building a large corporate or what you call it, but to actually have every single individual have their own value chain that they can add to actually say, you know what, I've got my own business and I can do this for you in my region and gain revenue from that. And I think that is where we need to be, and that's the kind of mindset that we need to have, and we need to be exposed to that on a regular basis. And just in terms of you know, just saying, you know what, I add value, I bring value. I think we need to start valuing people, not their capabilities and the abilities, but saying, hey, how can I help you to give you a leg up into the next arena and into the next space, and so that we can grow. I've been part of the intergovernment framework, discussions around mining and mining communities and how you can develop entrepreneurs within the mining sector. I've been involved with the automotive industry and the NARCAMs, and involved with healthcare and even public sector. And I know that my heart has always been, let's develop people to develop their own businesses so that they can actually go and use technology as the footprint with excellence. And I think for me, what we're currently facing is more an economic storm than a healthcare pandemic. The healthcare pandemic is just, yeah, I'm not even going to give my 5 cents on that, but it's more an economic war that we are actually facing, and cementing us as Africans to develop our own capabilities and abilities, and to do not only support, but to develop the actual technology. And we've got so much intellectual capital in this country. And so I think, if I can say this, I'm willing to give input and to say what things needs to be looked at and where things can be different, and help people in terms of, you know, just where they want to see their businesses thrive and things like that. And that's always been my goal. I'm helping, or trying to help 3 different companies to get their software and their services into different sectors and different market spaces. And it is extremely difficult because you don't have funding to raise capital, and to get even Black entrepreneurs to invest in local entrepreneurs is extremely difficult. And it's not easy. It's either who you know, whose hand you're willing to shake, and who you unlikely to go to bed with, if I must put it that way. And that's really sad to actually see that happening. So my 5 cents is, sorry, I've taken up so much time, but I think my comment is, there's a way to do this, and a way to do this successfully, and a way to do this in a way that's innovative, that is enabling. I think we all need our own digital IDs. I've got so many ideas to throw at people and say, hey, do this. There's so much stuff that you can do with IoT. There's so many lightweight stuff that you can do. There's so many hardware stuff that you can do, and develop small devices and a lightweight operating system on the key runs on the edge, and then you're not reliant on the 3G connectivity to the rest of the world. It will find a way to actually do it. And that's already running currently in different countries, in countries like Kenya and some other countries that I'm aware of, and across the globe. And just, yeah, sorry. I'm very passionate about technology and about people, and both are equally important to me. So that's my 5 cents. Thanks for allowing me to speak.
Thank you very much, AJ. I think there is a theme here, which I think would actually like to talk to. By the way, in another life of mine, I'm also a board member at the MICT-SETA, and these are things that he is excited about, and as his own vision, which as a board we do support, is to develop locally grown software and locally grown hardware. I'm not sure if he wants to add, but this is a thing that through the chamber or even MICT-SETA directly, can probably give more in terms of what he plans to do in the future. Do you want to comment on this? But as a chamber, I'm getting a sense that this is a big thing and the chamber needs to look at it properly. Over to you, Mdu.
Thanks very much, my boss. Okay, all right. Okay, so colleagues, I think you know, I think one of the when I was doing my reading last night on SAMDDRA and the other industries that are surrounding SAMDDRA, I thought of, you know, what stance are we going to take as a country? Because if we take a stance of producing robust equipment, robust software, the industry for repairs will shrink. Okay, but if we go with a stance that says we want to grow the repair industry, so maybe you want to go loose on the side of the equipment, then there should be a balance somewhere. As you would know that if your German your German car has got a part that is broken, or not broken as such, but it's malfunctioning, it's not working, they simply import it. They don't repair it. Okay, they simply import, they don't repair it. So the repair industry, it's something that we need to really study when it comes to ICT, because if we follow the model that we are all accustomed to, the repair industry will shrink. Your tablet will be broken in some way, and you will just import, replace. So when it comes to skills and developing people to be able to repair things, I think we really need to have a very deep discussion on how we change the status quo that we are accustomed to in the automobile sector, for instance. So that was one question that I had. But when it comes to developing things locally, all the organizations of government that were in this particular webinar today, they can all chip in and participate and put some money. But there is one person who holds the key to really opening up the software development market in this country. And that person is the person who is in charge of procurement in South Africa. It would give me great joy to see the government say that by 2025, we'll have our own operating system in this country. It will give me great joy, because then the software developers that MICT have been training for so many years, finally, they can identify something where they can plug their skill and say, that's my legacy. I built an operating system that is used in South Africa. It will give me great joy for our government to say, in 2023, we will only buy antivirus that is made in South Africa. So I have lobbied with the chamber, and Mr. Dicha knows that we should, including Black IT Forum, I have lobbied and said, let's go and lobby our government to change and have some procurement reforms that can spin this industry upside down, so that the kids that we train can be plugged back into the industry and start developing products and goods that can be used in the ICT space. So I still reiterate the point, and I'm still going to be pushing with the chamber and the Black IT Forum and SITA and SITA as well, SITA, that we should move towards some reforms when it comes to ICT to start training this industry for local production. I mean, not too long ago, last year, I engaged with the Premier of the Eastern Cape, where within the energy and water sector, he wanted locally produced software that can detect water shortages. And he was not interested in any German software, in any Chinese software, in any American software. And I said to myself, this is the leader I want to work with. He has got guts to make a call so it can stimulate the ICT industry. So yeah, I look forward to the engagement. Thanks.
Hello. We will be taking the next question. Can we make it a bit short and try and give others a chance to speak before we close by 5 o'clock? Thank you.
JJ, you can speak. JJ, you are allowed to speak.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can now.
Okay, so I was still muted. I thought. Thank you, Chair and the Program Director, for this wonderful event. It has been a long journey, a hard journey to get to this wonderful day. Firstly, I noticed that there was one person in the comment section who was asking if SAMDDRA will be having branches. So maybe, I don't know if that has been addressed already. And then Secondly, I would like to challenge the people on the call. I am proudly could say that our company is one of the first, I can maybe will be corrected if I'm wrong, first member of SAMDDRA, which is Nostalgic Tech. And people, this is not a talk shop. You need to come and work. This, I hear a lot of people almost like blaming SAMDDRA or expecting SAMDDRA to do things for them. You need to come and do the job yourself to be the change that you want to see this world to be. So that's my second point. My third point is that South Africa has got a very mature manufacturing environment. Don't be mistaken about it. We manufacture top-class military products that we export to the top and compete on a high level with any country you can imagine in the world. So the manufacturing that we sometimes talk about of making laptops, we make more sophisticated systems in South Africa. However, the industry has not grown enough to have a sustainability to maintain those high skills that are drained by the Middle East currently. So we are not starting something new, but I think we need to congratulate the team of SAMDDRA, the whole team in the background to get to this. As I said, I challenge everyone to join and to come and do the work. Thank you.
Thank you. Can we have the next person? Okay, do we have any more questions or can we maybe close?
There is Luazi. I don't know if it was the old hand.
Thank you again. It's the new hand. Just to add, and thank you to all the participants and for the wonderful experience. Just to add also to look at the manufacturing and owning the supply value chain. We need to establish manufacturing, and manufacturing also need to be assisted by the Department of Legal in terms of the estate, because we need to start acquiring manufacturing space. We're also battling on that space. And also the other space that we're battling in, that we also want to assist. We do have a plan how to assist in alleviating the socio-economical problem. It's a very detailed plan. I would, like you said, I would like to forward it to your team there, just to have a look, a critic, maybe can able to develop it further. Thank you.
Program director, there is another hand. I don't know if a new hand or old one, maybe.
Okay, can we take it, please?
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to quickly also comment on the localization and what government is meant to do, or what government is trying to do. I think, like I said earlier, there is a provision on the PPPFA Act, the Preferential Procurement Act, where government can designate products, any product for local manufacturing, including products and services, including software and so on. So the framework is there, or the act is there. It just needs to be implemented. There are obviously requirements, such as ensuring that at least when you designate for local, there is a local companies that are able to supply government with that particular product. But I just want the chamber or this body to also, when working on advocating for local products to be or for local designation of products, One of the challenges that we've realized, for instance, the smart meters are designated 100% for local manufacturing. There exists manufacturing capacity. A computer can be manufactured in South Africa because we've got SMT. We also have even companies that are able to manufacture a PC board from copper and sand and so on. So the challenge with that industry and the smart meters was that companies would bypass the law and write to the DTI and say, we can't find a local a company that can supply PC boards, that can supply whichever component that is designated for local manufacturing. And that is a gray area that needs to be looked at, but also ensuring that when the product is designated for local manufacturing, there is compliance from especially government departments. So I think, and in terms of training, technical training, very important that because already there is capacity that exists in the country, although like the previous speaker said, at the very we are unable to meet the requirement, the demand requirements as a manufacturing sector in the country because of the fact that we have a few companies that are actually manufacturing in South Africa. I mean, some of companies like Hisense are already manufacturing their products in South Africa, and many other, not many of them, but there is some companies that are manufacturing locally. But the challenge would then be that once a product is designated, we need to make sure that it's enforced, that law is enforced. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Anyone? Do we have another question?
Yes, Gerald, you can go ahead.
Thank you very much. All protocols observed to this occasion. From my side, it's just appreciation and well done to all the powers that be that put this initiative together. Definitely there is focus to work together, and just from businesses out there, and as we ourselves as a business, we are keenly interested to participate, to be involved, to see where we could extend the hand in the sense of taking this message forward. As we come from the sector of cybersecurity, cybersecurity needs to partner or collaborate with many organizations out there. So we are saying we're willing to stretch that hand. Let's see how we could take the message forward. When the times arise for where specialist advice is needed from the sector like us in cybersecurity, we're willing to participate and extend the experience that we've gained. As cybersecurity is a very niche service, as it were. So let's work together, looking forward to progress. Well done to the people who have put this together. I'm looking forward to joining and seeing more and more work as we become more productive. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any other comment or question? Anyone?
Hi. Just a quick question. With the for SAMDDRA, yes. What are their targets in terms of when they would like to start their first training, a program of some sort? It's just as a target they've set, so that probably people don't understand that as much as we are striving to register under SAMDDRA, but they should be noting that deadline of when the courses will start to begin, the training courses? Yes, thanks.
I think I'll respond to that one. SAMDDRA is not a training house. SAMDDRA makes sure that members and wherever the need is in our stream of needs and of our stream of opportunities that we have, if there is a need for training, then it is offered. So it will be programs that will be run together with existing bodies. Right now, we have a very tight relationship with MICT SETA, so we'll start the first programs with MICT SETA. So it's not like a training class where you come. It will be programs that we will submit depending on the needs and depending on the projects that are coming through SAMDDRA members and SAMDDRA partners. So I don't know if that answer is satisfying to you, but we don't want to be labeled as a training house. We are not. We're just trying to build an ecosystem so that we have opportunities through our members, partners, and projects so that all of us can then have more interaction and everyone will have opportunities. So if there are specific needs that you have, you can then talk to us, then we will see if there is a program running now, or if there is no program, and if there is a need for us to engage so that we create one, that's what we'll be doing. Thanks.
I'm answered. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other question or comment?
Vinolia, I would propose closure at this point.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much to everyone who joined us today. And I will give to Mr. Mark and Mr. Loiso to also say something before we close. Thank you so much.
Not much from me, except for thank you very much to everyone that has attended. But the real work starts now. We expect those who are interested in being part of this ecosystem to immediately raise their hands. As our member and leader somewhere else in the chamber, JJ, has said, this is not something somebody else is doing. This is something that will be driven by members of SAMDDRA. So we expect those who are interested in being part of this ecosystem to join SAMDDRA, and together with us, together with the chamber, we steer this ship in a direction that benefit our own companies, benefit our own places where we live, our locations, through jobs that would be created and training opportunities that would be created by SAMDDRA. And yeah, we move forward. I would love, if Mdu also would like to say something in parting, I would also like to invite him to do so together with Mark.
Mdu, right, please. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks very much, Loiso. I think the participants have said a lot in terms of what they expect and what they intend doing in joining SAMDDRA. I would like to encourage everybody to join SAMDDRA. I think it's going to be very critical that we support initiatives like these to professionalize ourselves, to make sure that we belong to a house that can serve our interests in this particular industry. So that's very important. As a SETA, we will be working with SAMDDRA. We've just signed an MOU with SAMDDRA in terms of identifying coursework that needs to be funded for interested members of SAMDDRA. So we would like to encourage everybody to access that training material or coursework through joining SAMDDRA, so that we can help the industry get on its feet and be sustainable. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I think we will close now. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Mr. Zakwe from MICT SETA, and all the leaders in the ICT SMME chamber. We salute our hero, our leader, chairman, Muzi Makaye, who couldn't make it. And we thank the MD, Mr. Loiso Tiha. And we thank all the other brothers and sisters who want to make things work. There we have JJ, who once tried to help SAMDDRA somehow, so that those are small things that go a long way. But he did mention here to say, not that you're expecting something, but you should come so that we work together. People will say, what do I have to offer? I'm in Eastern Cape, I'm in Kwandlangezwa, somewhere there. Yes, we all have something to offer. There is nobody who should just expect to receive something. No, that's why we're not talking of helping. We're not helping, we're collaborating. We're building an ecosystem where we'll collaborate because everybody gives something. Even if you're thinking you have nothing, but that small idea is something that you're putting on the table, which you can exploit and then go forward. So we thank you all for participating. We would want you to support this initiative by becoming members. Becoming a member goes from 0 rand up to R1 million. So even if you have nothing, you can still, nothing in terms of our membership fees, because we all have something. I was talking about nothing to pay for the membership fee. It goes that you can become a member just by sending an email. I don't have funds to pay this year, so I want to be an affiliate member. So we have that option so that we can have as many people as possible in the ecosystem and try to work together towards something that we will be proud of. Thank you very much. God help us all, and we wish all the best to yourselves and to the SAMDDRA platform and to South Africa. Thank you, and we will meet again.
Thank you, Doctor.
Sure. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.